For centuries, the Vatican has been shrouded in mystery, secrecy, and prophecy. But among all the chilling predictions surrounding the Catholic Church, one stands out above the rest: the prophecy of Saint Malachy. According to this prophecy, a 12th century Irish archbishop foresaw every single pope that would ever exist, right down to the very last one. And if his vision is to be believed, then Pope Francis may be the final pope before the world, as we know it, comes to an end. His name was Malachy O'Morgair, and legend has it that he had a divine revelation of 112 future popes, each described with cryptic phrases. Over the centuries, many of these descriptions have eerily aligned with real historical popes. But what makes this prophecy truly terrifying is that the final pope on the list, known as Petrus Romanus, Peter the Roman, is said to preside over the Church in its last days, before the destruction of Rome and the final judgment. Could this mean that Pope Francis is the last leader of the Church before the end times? Or is there another, hidden meaning behind these ancient words? Let's uncover the truth behind Saint Malachy's chilling prophecy. To understand the origins of this prophecy, we must first explore the life of Saint Malachy O'Morgair, the man behind the vision. Born in 1094 in Armagh, Ireland, Malachy was a revered archbishop known for his deep spirituality, devotion, and alleged ability to perform miracles. He was a key figure in reforming the Irish Church, bringing it more in line with the Roman Catholic traditions of his time. However, his legacy extends far beyond his earthly contributions. His name is forever tied to one of the most mysterious and debated prophecies in Catholic history. The story goes that during a pilgrimage to Rome in 1139, Malachy was suddenly struck by a series of divine revelations. In his vision, he saw all the popes who would rule the Church from his time until the very last one. To record this vision, he allegedly wrote down a list of 112 popes, each described with an obscure Latin phrase. After Malachy's death in 1148, this manuscript was said to have been locked away in the Vatican's archives, forgotten for centuries, until it mysteriously resurfaced in 1595, when it was published by a Benedictine historian named Arnold de Wyan. But why was this prophecy hidden for so long? Was it truly the work of a divine vision, or is there more to this mystery than meets the eye? Saint Malachy's prophecy lists 112 popes, each accompanied by a brief, enigmatic Latin phrase intended to capture their unique characteristics or the defining events of their papacy. This structure, though seemingly simple, has sparked intense debate over its authenticity and divine origin. Over the centuries, scholars, theologians, and believers have pored over these mottos, comparing them against historical records to determine if the prophecy truly foretold the course of the Catholic Church. Some examples illustrate the claimed accuracy of these descriptions. The phrase allegedly describing Pope Innocent III, for instance, appears to reflect his decisive leadership during times of crisis. Similarly, other phrases that hint at reform, struggle, or persecution seem to resonate with the documented challenges faced by various popes. This uncanny correspondence has led many to argue that the prophecy is not merely a historical curiosity, but possibly a divine revelation. However, skeptics contend that the vague language of these mottos allows for flexible interpretation, making it possible to retrofit them to any pope after the fact. They argue that several of the descriptions were likely altered in later centuries to align with the deeds and missteps of individual popes. Despite such criticisms, the allure of Saint Malachy's prophecy endures, captivating the imagination of millions around the globe. Perhaps the most unsettling element of this prophecy is its final entry. The last pope, referred to as Petrus Romanus, is foretold to lead the Church during its ultimate decline, ushering in cataclysmic events that may culminate in the end times. As modern events increasingly echo these ominous predictions, the debate over the prophecy's legitimacy intensifies. Thus, the prophecy continues to ignite both fervor and doubt among historians and theologians, compelling us to question whether these cryptic lines reveal a preordained destiny or merely a coincidence. Indeed, the mystery endures. Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, has become one of the most discussed figures in contemporary religious discourse, particularly in relation to Saint Malachy's prophetic predictions. As the 112th pontiff, his election has led many to consider the possibility that he is the very figure described in the ancient prophecy as Petrus Romanus, the final pope destined to lead the Church during its ultimate decline. From the outset of his papacy, Francis has distinguished himself by embracing humility, reform, and a modern vision for the Catholic Church. However, these same qualities have also stirred debate among scholars and apocalyptic theorists. Some interpret his adoption of the name Francis as a deliberate echo of tradition, while others contend that it holds a subtle allusion to Peter, the foundational figure of the Church, suggesting a link to the enigmatic title Peter the Roman. This connection has fueled speculation that his papacy might fulfill the chilling prophecy that foretells catastrophic events under the guidance of a final, transformative pontiff. Critics argue that such interpretations are based on circumstantial evidence and symbolic coincidences rather than concrete proof. They note that the prophecy's language is ambiguous, and historical records of popes have been subject to reinterpretation over time. Nonetheless, supporters of the prophecy emphasize that the specific sequence of 112 pontiffs, culminating in Francis, cannot be merely coincidental. They point to the significant challenges the Church faces today: internal divisions, widespread scandals, and an increasingly secular world, as signs that his leadership may mark a turning point in ecclesiastical history. Moreover, some theorists suggest that his reformist agenda and global outreach are reflective of an era of profound transition, one that aligns with apocalyptic narratives found in various religious traditions. Whether viewed as a herald of renewal or a precursor to impending doom, Pope Francis's role in the unfolding of these ancient predictions continues to inspire debate, reflection, and even fear among believers worldwide. As we examine these connections and controversies, it remains essential to balance historical analysis with an understanding of symbolic interpretation. Is Pope Francis truly the final pope foreseen by Saint Malachy? Or is his papacy simply a continuation of an evolving tradition? Only time will tell, as both the faithful and the skeptics await further developments in this unfolding mystery. Ultimately, the debate over Pope Francis's connection to Saint Malachy's prophecy remains unresolved, leaving us to ponder the true fate of the Catholic Church in earnest. Across history, apocalyptic predictions have been linked to a variety of global crises, and Saint Malachy's prophecy is no exception. Many believers point to modern events as ominous indicators that we are approaching the end times. Today's world is marked by political turmoil, economic instability, and widespread natural disasters, which some interpret as fulfilling ancient warnings of a coming cataclysm. Recent wars and regional conflicts, coupled with unprecedented climate change, have intensified fears that humanity stands on the brink of disaster. Natural calamities, raging wildfires, massive floods, and powerful hurricanes are occurring with increasing frequency and severity, leading some to question whether these events are mere coincidences or signs foretold by prophecy. Moreover, global pandemics and economic crises have shaken societies, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and despair that resonates with the apocalyptic visions of old. Within the Church, internal strife and controversies have further fueled speculation about the arrival of a new era. Scandals and administrative challenges have undermined the institution's credibility, prompting many to wonder if the Church is witnessing the fulfillment of its own dire predictions. These internal crises are seen by some as evidence that the spiritual foundations of the Church are crumbling, mirroring the ancient vision of decline associated with the final papacy described by Saint Malachy. Additionally, emerging political movements and the rise of populist leaders worldwide have added to the sense of impending doom. The rapid spread of misinformation and the erosion of traditional values contribute to an environment where faith and reason collide, intensifying apocalyptic interpretations. In this charged atmosphere, every crisis is scrutinized through the lens of prophecy, reinforcing the belief that the end times are near. As we examine these multifaceted signs, From natural disasters and economic turmoil to institutional breakdown and political upheaval, it becomes increasingly difficult to dismiss the notion that we are living in the twilight of an era. Whether these events are divinely orchestrated or the result of human error remains a topic of intense debate, yet the ominous signals persist. These relentless phenomena challenge our faith and invite both critical inquiry and profound reflection about our future without reservation. Not everyone is convinced that St. Malachy's prophecy is a divine revelation of the Church's future. Many critics argue that the prophecy is nothing more than an elaborate work of fiction, a historical curiosity reinterpreted over time to suit modern narratives. Skeptics point to several key issues. First, the language of the prophecy is exceedingly vague and symbolic. The brief Latin phrases assigned to each pope can be interpreted in multiple ways, permitting the retrospective fitting of historical events. This inherent flexibility undermines the claim that the descriptions are uniquely predictive. Second, there is a notable absence of contemporary evidence connecting St. Malachy to the purported vision. Numerous historians contend that the prophecy was likely fabricated during a period of religious conflict, intended to influence public opinion and consolidate ecclesiastical power. Furthermore, critics highlight that similar prophecies have emerged throughout history, often during times of turmoil and uncertainty. They argue that these predictions reflect the fears and aspirations of their era rather than serving as genuine forecasts of future events. The identification of Pope Francis as the final pontiff is seen by many as an oversimplification that disregards the complex evolution of church history and theology. Finally, the recurring nature of apocalyptic predictions casts doubt on any one prophecy's authenticity. Past predictions have repeatedly failed to materialize, suggesting that such forecasts are more emblematic of cultural anxieties than literal truths. In sum, skeptics maintain that St. Malachy's prophecy should be approached with caution and interpreted as a symbolic narrative rather than an infallible prediction of the Church's destiny. This critical perspective encourages a balanced analysis, urging us to scrutinize prophetic claims before accepting them as definitive insights into the future. Ultimately, this cautious approach reminds us that history often repeats its lessons, and skepticism is essential in evaluating grand prophetic narratives. The mystery of St. Malachy's prophecy continues to captivate and divide believers and skeptics alike. Throughout our journey, we have explored the origins of this ancient vision, examined its intricate details, and analyzed the striking parallels between historical events and the prophecy's predictions. From St. Malachy's initial revelation to the current debates surrounding Pope Francis's role, every chapter has added depth to this enduring enigma. We have seen how the prophecy's ambiguous language allows for multiple interpretations, inviting both awe and critical scrutiny. While supporters view the prophecy as a divine blueprint for the Church's future, critics argue that it is a symbolic narrative shaped by historical circumstances and cultural fears. As we stand at the intersection of faith and reason, one pivotal question remains. Is St. Malachy's prophecy a genuine glimpse into the destiny of the Catholic Church, or is it merely an elaborate myth crafted by human imagination? We invite you to share your thoughts and engage in this fascinating debate. Remember to subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries, and leave your comments below as we continue to unravel the secrets of our past and ponder the possibilities of our future. Don't wait.